This is what we call boys' time. Just two boys hanging out, hugging, biting each other's noses. That's what boys do. This is what I'm up to this morning. Studying with a couple little kitties. I thought that we were going to play Dungeons and Dragons today, but that was next week. I mixed up the dates. So I have today to do nothing. And it's still 4-day weekend. Still 2 more days of chilling. So I'm going to do some meal prep. I spent about an hour and a half this morning just planning my international trip, which is coming together. It's getting crazy, man. I'm really excited about it. What was that, Ori? You are so cute. Let me put my shoes on to go out to the garden. That's what that's all about. So I'm just planting the seeds that I have from last year. And so far, that is all squashes and zucchinis. So I have like 9 rows of just squash and zucchini already. And I have enough to do the rest of the garden with just squash and zucchini. So I don't know. It's gonna get squashier. So along the fence is a line of peas with the intention that they will climb up the fence. And then here is like 2 random seeds, which I just had and didn't label. And then from there to there is all squash and zucchini. There's like 150 plants in there that are going to be squashes and zucchinis. And then Erin got some watermelons. So this little area here is watermelon corner. And then she got some tomatoes as well. So that's the tomato corner back there in the back. And then I had some more seeds, which were chives. So this little planter is like my perennial nursery where I'll get my perennials launched. And then I want to eventually put them in the front yard. But over here is the established chives with both the, I think that's a garlic chive, and this is some other kind of chive. And then I transplanted some of them here, so those should take off. And then I planted seeds all over there for chives. So hopefully those take off. And then I'll have a bunch of chives and my hostas, which then can hopefully go front yard in a perennial plantation kind of system up there. So, but the garden's so cool. It's good because we had like nothing last year, like no perennials, no plants, like a couple of cherries and that's it. And now to see like the hostas and the lilies and the raspberries and the chives, everything's really taking off and kind of becoming like a food forest in a sense. I'm pretty excited about it. And it will only get crazier throughout the year, I'm sure. These are my old slippers. And then here's the new ones. Let's do a little side by side here. These are the best. They're perpetually on my Christmas list. So cool. And they last a long time. I swear they go like 3 or 4 years each, so pretty nice. All right, somebody posted on one of my videos that I look like a guy named Big Mac in Big Mac's battle blog. He's this UK guy who's fighting in the war in Ukraine. And I looked him up and 100% we look very similar. So here he is. Okay, Felix is in the way, but he looks like me. We have the same facial hair pattern, the same expressive eyebrows. I could get a haircut and we would look very similar. Hold on, let's see. We're very similar looking, particularly when he talks. Like we have the same nose shape. It's creepy. Oh my gosh, he's got an English accent. He looks like me, but with an English accent. That's interesting. I haven't met a doppelganger of mine since I was a teenager. Bam. How's that for a talking head setup? Never done it this way before. What did I do today? Yeah, totally meant to work out today and totally did not. Which is like, it's okay. I need a day to like rehab and recover. Man, what a cheat day though. To which, like, okay, I already talked about it. I'm not worried about it, but it's also like when I eat like a junk meal it fills me up so much that I don't really eat much else. So I don't even know how much net of a cheat day today was, because I'm like, I had just like a garbage lunch, and then I like barely touched food for the rest of the day. So I think that's kind of funny. Studied a lot today. Did a lot of vacation planning. Man, August and September, gonna be some crazy vlogs, man. I'm really excited, looking forward to it. It's kind of like funny, you know, like you go in like brain spaces where it's like your brain just like is oriented to some task on a specific day. And I've not been in vacation planning mode lately. I hate the idea of like, oh, I need to figure out how to get here and where to stay, and it's super. I don't know. I don't enjoy the procedure of it, but I got a lot done today. The garden is in. The back is in. The backyard garden is actually looking super good. So I want to work a bit more on the front yard garden. Definitely over the next couple of days. I still have 2 more days off, so over that, and then while I'm working from home, like, I mean, of course I have my breaks, I can kind of jump out there and work on it. So that'll be the vision over this summer, is to kind of set up some more stuff in the front yard. But the yard's coming so crazy. There's so many perennials that are doing so great. So man, I'm excited about that. Oh my gosh, and then you would not believe this. You would not believe it. Actually, you probably believe it. I'm playing Balatro again. I'm so hooked on it. Oh my gosh. That game. And what I find interesting is, like, I would love to see the developmental timelines of that and Slice and Dice, because now that I've played both of them, the similarities between them is like so uncanny. Like, they must have had some kind of overlap in at the very least inspiration, because, like, man, very, very similar. Yeah, I was playing Balatro, and then I watched. I've been like, I know I talked about this a while ago with Gaddafi and Russia and stuff. I went on a rant about that, but now I'm watching so many history documentaries, particularly about the Middle East, which is like, I didn't know anything about it, and it's fascinating. So I watched one about Osama bin Laden today and how he like became the guy that he was, which is interestingly very similar to Gaddafi. But it was like really just interesting, because it's like just how like Russia and America were kind of interacting in those forces. How Russia was fairly like, in a sense, you know, expansionist, and then the British empires were below there, you know, allied with the United States. They were then fighting this proxy war there, and because the Russians were using Afghanistan as like a buffer against kind of the more, as I understand, the more like Western-leaning Iraq and Iran at the time. They kind of, Russia put like a lot of socialist policies and secularism into Afghanistan in order to like kind of regulate them. But at the time, both Afghanistan and Russia were fairly destitute. So Osama came up and he was like, bruh, why are we doing this, man? We should be religious and go after Islam instead of being so secular. And bin Laden's family had made a bunch of money off construction in Saudi Arabia. So he came back to Afghanistan, and he's like super rich, and he's advocating all this kind of Islamic extremism, kind of at the same time as Gaddafi during the, you know, all the Islam unification talks. But it was really interesting. It's so crazy to see how like one thing leads to another, you know. And yeah, it's weird, man. Interesting stuff, though. Dang old Nathan. I blame Nathan for this. I had no interest in history until like 3 months ago, and now I just find it so riveting. Okay, an interesting thing. Sorry, I'm ranting, a long monologue today, but an interesting thing today is, so I didn't work out, and I'm like, okay, I feel bad for not working out. But I gardened for probably 4 or 5 hours putting in that crazy garden. And what's interesting is, within the world of kinesiology, when you give out the health questionnaires, like you give out a health survey to determine someone's like likelihood that they're going to full risk to these different health determinants like obesity and cancer and all these different things. And under musculoskeletal strengthening, it's things like weightlifting and gardening. So gardening is listed as one of the musculoskeletal strengthening activities, which is kind of interesting. But and an interesting aside on that is why it's divided up is because it affects its different health parameters. So if we look at morbidity and mortality, mortality is much more affected by cardiovascular fitness, whereas morbidity is much more affected by musculoskeletal fitness, which makes a lot of sense, right? Like your cardiorespiratory fitness will strengthen your cardiovascular system, which prevents strokes and heart attacks and rehabs from them, which are causes of mortality. And then your musculoskeletal system will strengthen your bones, keep you moving, things like that as you age, which is morbidity. So it's just kind of interesting, man. It's a fascinating world. Felix, you need to get your own YouTube channel where you can chat all the time. Also, check out these new slippers. Slippers. Kitties. Gardens. Dia.